You are watching Political Point Magazine. Where the right is right and the left, well, the left is always on the wrong side of history. Why? Because political minds want to know. So enjoy a conservative point of view. And let's talk pea soup. With tonight's top stories. Well, Obama goes defiant at his almost last State of the Union. It's actually his sixth State of the Union, seventh actually. Seventh because his first one was actually addressed to Congress. But is Obama a lame duck? We will analyze his speech. And also Sheldon Silver, remember him? Yeah, he gets handcuffed and gets hauled away in handcuffs for corruption. And King Abdullah dies at 90. The Saudi king. We will talk about what his political influence was and share other thoughts. And also, American Sniper breaks box office records, but extreme liberals like Michael Moore and Seth Rogen are lashing out on it. And we will talk to you, the viewers, about this and all this and more on tonight. With your humble host, William Mitro. Welcome, my friends. We have a great episode, great show for you tonight. Alright, we will analyze the president's speech tonight. Alright, but there's lots of things going on in the news now, and my friends, it is quite interesting. But tonight, we talk about we're going to talk about last week's State of the Union address, and we will analyze the speech and fact from fiction and stuff. For tonight, we will talk about it in terms of what's really going on, because we kind of see this. We kind of see this tonight as the speech, the State of the Union speech, which is the State of the Delusion and Denial Union address. Okay, but we will talk about all of this coming up here, but tonight. But lots of things have gone on since Obama's been president, and you would think that since the Republicans won control of both houses of Congress last year, and the president made his policies in that election the issue. He actually made it a referendum on his policies, right? But in a preview of the speech before Tuesday's speech, it was it was announced actually that, you know, because they distributed a copy of this, they they sent a copy of the speech all over to all the news outlets and all the pundits and everything, and even I got a copy of the preview, and I gotta tell you, okay, the State of the Union address this time struck me as kind of odd because the president was proposing some things that he knows that are not going to pass through this Republican-controlled House and Senate. All right, so, but the president speaks for the first time in front of a House chamber full of Republicans. Okay, so this will be the first time that Republicans have control of both houses of Congress, and the president addresses the nation in the State of the Union in the House chamber there, to a chamber full of Republicans. All right, but we are going to go over a lot of the address tonight because this has to get out, and it seemed to me that while the president was defiant and in his speech and stuff, it seemed to me that he wanted to preserve his legacy and lay out the format for 2016. This didn't seem like a speech he should be giving. He touted his achievements, which are very, very little, but there is a lot of deception in his speech, okay? And we are going to go over that. All right, we are going to go over that in his speech, okay? Because the president just because over the years we know how his policies have been. All right, and it's quite interesting to see that the president just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. I mean, okay, so 6.5 years. Okay, so from 2009 to 2014, he's been president. All right, okay, he's won 2 elections. Okay. And what does he have to show for it? Right? But it is interesting that the president comes out defiant, you know, even though the American people the American voters have spoken, and they've elected the Republicans back in control of Congress. They want to keep our fiscal house in order. And they want a balanced budget. They want to put a stop to wasteful spending and wasteful taxation. And you know, as the president comes out and he's just, and we want to be energy independent. Okay, so we know that the Congress, both houses, the Republicans have already passed bills, and the president has been defiant and said that he's going to veto. He's issued 5 vetoes already, and even before the Congress could get started on anything, he's just pig-headed, to say the least. All right, but we are going to analyze the State of the Union address, or as I call it, the State of the Delusion and Denial Union Address. All right. Yep. And so, as we get to the good parts of the speech here. All right. I will put that up on the screen here. All right. So, the State of the Union. All right. And let's take a watch and take a look at what he puts down for us here. Okay, take a look.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans. We are 15 years into this new century. 15 years that dawned with terror touching our shores, that unfolded with a new generation fighting two long and costly wars, that saw a vicious recession spread across our nation and the world. It has been and still is a hard time for many. But tonight, we turn the page. Tonight, after a breakthrough year for America, our economy is growing and creating jobs at the fastest pace since 1999.
Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? Now, okay, economic growth here. All right, let's go over this here. All right, now, economic growth. Okay, now, okay, so he says after a breakthrough year for America, our economy is growing and creating jobs at the fastest pace since 1999. So now he's comparing himself to Clinton. Okay, now wait a second here. As for not quite here. All right. So as for how fast our economy is growing, official figures from the U.S. Bureau of Labor of Economic Statistics, Economic Analysis, okay, put the gain in real gross domestic product at an annual rate of 5.0% in the third quarter of last year. All right. Now, those are the most recent figures available now, and they represent the best quarterly gain in some time, but not since 1999. Okay. Now, hello. Okay. May I remind you that the fastest economic growth period was actually between 2001 and 2001 and 2008. Okay, when George W. Bush was president, that was actually the fastest economic growth period. All right, and according to this, the BEA's figures show real GDP grew at a rate of 6.9% in the third quarter of 2003, okay, and at 7.8% in the second quarter of 2000. All right, so during the Bush years, that was when the fastest economic growth period was. All right, okay, Obama is full of delusion right there. Okay, now as far as job creation in this country at this point, the White House has pointed out to a preliminary figure of 2.95 million jobs, close to 3 million jobs, okay, gained in 2014, okay, which is the best since 1999 if it holds, okay. But if it holds up when the Bureau of Labor Statistics completes its normal revisions of job figures, which could go up or down. All right. But the president spoke in present tense, okay, and saying that the economy is creating jobs at the fastest clip since 1999. And that's and by more immediate measures, the pace is not quite the most rapid since 1999. Okay, so the president doesn't have his figures all set there. Okay, so let's go back to some more.
Our unemployment rate is now lower than it was before the financial crisis. More of our kids are graduating than ever before. More of our people are insured than ever before.
Wait a minute. Now that is an exaggeration right there. Okay. Now, okay. Let's see. More of our people are insured. What? Are you kidding me? No. All right. Nah. Now the president has been touting that that Obamacare has insured 10 million people. That's not the actual number. Okay, because if you remember, the director of Medicare testified to the extent here that I can't answer that. Okay, sorry. Okay, now, but the director of Medicaid testified to the extent when the architect of Obamacare got grilled, Jonathan Grouper, she said that the numbers were greatly exaggerated because they were double counted. They were counted twice. Okay, so they botched up the numbers. Okay, they botched up that whole thing. They cooked the books on the enrollment, and so the actual number is close to 5 or 6 million that have actually enrolled in Obamacare. All right. So they're not telling you the truth there. Okay. All right. So here's a little bit more.
And we are as free from the grip of foreign oil as we've been in almost 30 years.
Now that part is true, but the president still hasn't approved the Keystone Pipeline. He is ducking and dodging the issue, seeing how he's a lame duck and all right, and whatnot. But he dodged and dodging the issue, and he hasn't approved the Keystone Pipeline. But yet, Congress, under the Republicans, okay, in both houses, they've already passed a bill that would approve construction on the Keystone Pipeline. Okay, now that would be an infrastructure bill that has bipartisan support. Okay, it's a bipartisan bill that was passed. All right, and if the president vetoes that, then it will be a bipartisan override. Okay, because both Republicans and Democrats have approved the bill, and so if it reaches his desk and he vetoes it, then the president is so out of touch. All right, so here's a little bit more now.
Since 9/11, our combat mission in Afghanistan is over. Six years ago, nearly 180,000 American troops served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Today, fewer than 15,000 remain. And we salute the courage and sacrifice of every man and woman in this 9/11 generation who has served to keep us safe. We are humbled and grateful for your service. America, for all that we have endured, for all the grit and hard work required to come back, for all the tasks that lie ahead, know this: the shadow of crisis has passed, and the state of the Union is strong. At this moment, with a growing economy, shrinking deficits, bustling industry, booming energy production, we have risen from recession freer to write our own future than any other nation on earth. It's now up to us to choose who we want to be over the next 15 years and for decades to come. Will we accept an economy where only a few of us do spectacularly well? Or will we commit ourselves to an economy that generates rising incomes and chances for everyone who makes the effort? Will we approach the world fearful and reactive, dragged into costly conflicts that strain our military and set back our standing? Or will we lead wisely, using all elements of our power to defeat new threats and protect our planet? Will we allow ourselves to be sorted into factions and turned against one another? Or will we recapture the sense of common purpose that has always propelled America forward? In 2 weeks, I will send this Congress a budget filled with ideas that are practical, not partisan. And in the months ahead, I'll crisscross the country making a case for those ideas. So tonight, I want to focus less on a checklist of proposals and focus more on the values at stake in the choices before us. It begins with our economy. 7 years ago, Rebecca and Ben Earler of Minneapolis were new.
Oh, okay. Here's the most deceptive part of the speech. All right. Now, okay. This story is bogus, by the way. All right. But I'll let the president tell it, and then I'll go on with the analysis of why it's pretty bogus. All right. So take a look at this.
She waited tables. He worked construction. Their first child, Jack, was on the way. They were young and in love in America. And it doesn't get much better than that. If only we had known, Rebecca wrote to me last spring, what was about to happen to the housing and construction market. As the crisis worsened, Ben's business dried up. So he took what jobs he could find, even if they kept him on the road for long stretches of time. Rebecca took out student loans and enrolled in community college and retrained for a new career. They sacrificed for each other. And slowly it paid off. They bought their first home. They had a second son, Henry. Rebecca got a better job and then a raise. Ben's back in construction and home for dinner every night. It is amazing, Rebecca wrote, what you can bounce back from when you have to. We are a strong, tight-knit family who has made it through some very, very hard times. We are a strong, tight-knit family who has made it through some very, very hard times. America, Rebecca and Ben's story is our story. They represent the millions who've worked hard and scrimped and sacrificed and retooled. You are the reason that I ran for this office. You are the people I was thinking of 6 years ago today, in the darkest months of the crisis, when I stood on the steps of this Capitol and promised we would rebuild our economy on a new foundation. And it has been your resilience, your effort, that has made it possible for our country to emerge stronger.
Now, let me pause that right there, because now that whole story about Rebecca and you know whatnot, it's a prop, okay? Now, this is a farce story, because let me show you the the shot of Rebecca there sitting next to the First Lady, all right, and the but right here, my friends. Okay, now
Sacrifice for each other.
all right now, but now this is Rebecca, right? But the interesting thing about this is that whole story is made up. She was a campaign staffer for Patty Murray, and she was also on the campaign for Obama. But she is a prop, and this is one thing that the president will not tell you. All right, and that whole story about them working hard and whatnot. No, she's a political prop. All right, no, it's lies and deception once again by this president. All right, so that whole story there is just lies and deception. All right, she didn't write a letter to Obama talking about her life story. She was on the campaign trail with him. So what a coincidence that they can prop her up in there.
We believed we could reduce our dependence on foreign oil and protect our planet. And today, America is number one in oil and gas. America is number one in wind power. Every 3 weeks, we bring online as much solar power as we did in all of 2008. And thanks to lower gas prices and higher fuel standards, the typical family this year should save about $750 at the pump.
Let's just reiterate here. Okay, now, the reason gas prices are low is because of shale. Because we are the biggest producer of oil and gas right now. Okay? It's because of shale. It's because of fracking. All right? It's not because of anything that Obama did. All right? No. The gas prices are down because we have more of it. And it's because of shale. It's because of fracking. You know, global warming is a hoax. Okay, the president doesn't seem to get that message. All right. Okay, but anyhow. Okay, let's continue on here. All right.
We could prepare our kids for a more competitive world. And today, our younger students have earned the highest math and reading scores on record. Our high school graduation rate has hit an all-time high. More Americans finish college than ever before. We believe that sensible regulations could prevent another crisis, shield families from ruin, and encourage fair competition. Today, we have new tools to stop taxpayer-funded bailouts and a new consumer watchdog to protect us from predatory lending and abusive credit card practices. And in the past year alone, about 10 million uninsured Americans finally gained the security of health coverage.
Once again, he lied to you right there, okay? It's not 10 million, okay? It's not 10 million, okay? The figure echoed by a quarterly survey conducted by Urban Institute, okay, of researchers with the Department of Health and Human Services is is that 10 million figure, but we don't yet know if Obama can claim that, okay? But we do know, based on testimony before Congress, that the numbers have been botched up, okay? Some people were counted twice, you know, and the whole Obamacare system is complicated. All right, your premiums are going up, your deductibles are going up, and it's not affordable. Okay, it's not sustainable. All right, and also it's a burden on our tax code too. Okay, it jumbles up our tax code too. It's complicated. All right, so the president is touting this 10 million uninsured. The 10 million uninsured are finally insured. That's not true at all. Okay, they botched up the numbers. Remember, they botched up the numbers. Okay, it's not true at all. Okay, yeah. All right. So, yep. So the president can live in this delusional world of his failed economic policies. All right, but the healthcare numbers are botched up.
We were told our goals were misguided or too ambitious, that we would crush jobs and explode deficits. Instead, we've seen the fastest economic growth in over a decade, our deficits cut by 2/3, a stock market that has doubled, and healthcare inflation at its lowest rate in 50 years.
Wait a minute. Deficits cut by 2/3? Now, he's talking about... Okay, he's talking about the yearly deficits, okay, but not the overall deficits. Okay, now let's take this step by step here. Okay, when President Obama took office in 2009, the deficit was $9 trillion. Okay, now he pledged to cut the deficit in half cut the deficit in half in his first term in office. He broke that promise there. All right, and so as a result, or he broke that promise. Okay, he didn't cut the deficit at all. He ended up quadrupling it in his first term because of the health care package and the stimulus package, which had nothing to do with the economy. It didn't stimulate the economy. In fact, it killed the economy. Okay, and the deficit grew. The deficit increased. Obama added $9 trillion of new Obama debt to the deficit. And that's because of the stimulus package, the porculus package I should call it, and Obamacare, you know, which added to the deficit. All right. Now he ticked off his accomplishments here. Okay. Now when Obama, like I said before, now when Obama took office on January 2009, the federal deficit for fiscal year 2009 was already on pace to be $1.2 trillion. Okay? Now, this is the yearly deficit. Okay? Now, and it topped $1.4 trillion by the end of fiscal year of that fiscal year, which ended on September 30th, 2009. Okay? Now, like I said before, everything that he did in 2009, the stimulus package, and then on to Obamacare and everything else, you know, just added to the deficit. And we were adding $1 trillion every year, over $1 trillion every year. Okay. All right, but you know, and annual deficits remained above $1 trillion for 3 more years before dropping to $680 billion in fiscal year 2013. All right, so it's partially true that the deficits the yearly deficits have been cut. But the overall deficit is 18 trillion. All right. 18 trillion. Remember that. All right? And that's caused by Obama. $9 trillion of new Obama debt. Okay? So Obama really hasn't cut the deficit. All right. So and so it goes on, my friends. All right. Here we go.
This is good news, people. So the verdict is clear. Middle class economics works. Expanding opportunity works. And these policies will continue to work as long as politics don't get in the way.
Wait a minute. Are you saying your policies are middle class economics? Middle class? No, it's not middle class, okay? The middle class has been squeezed under you, President Obama, okay? Now, the gap between the rich and the poor has increased dramatically under Obama, all right? More than tenfold, all right? The middle class has been squeezed, all right? Now, that 5% figure for the unemployment, it's actually probably about like 20%, you know, because they don't count the people who have stopped and given up looking for jobs, all right? Because they don't count the underemployed, all right? Because, you know, they've just given up, okay? And so they botched the numbers on unemployment, all right? Your policies have not worked. People do not feel it. Mr. President, you are showing that you did not get the message from the midterm elections. All right, your policies have failed. In fact, the American voters have rejected your policies. All right.
We can't slow down businesses or put our economy at risk with government shutdowns or fiscal showdowns. We can't put the security of families at risk by taking away their health insurance or unraveling the new rules on Wall Street or refighting past battles on immigration when we've got to fix a broken system. And if a bill comes to my desk that tries to do any of these things, I will veto it. It will have earned my veto.
Once again, he shows his defiance and thumbing his nose up at the Republican-controlled Congress, you know, rejecting policies that will work, you know, refusing to work with the Republicans. All right. Now, there was a part in his speech where he proposed something for free tuition or for community colleges.
But here's the thing. Those of us here tonight, we need to set our sights higher than just making sure government doesn't screw things up. The government doesn't halt the progress we're making. We need to do more than just do no harm. Tonight, together, let's do more to restore the link between hard work and growing opportunity for every American. Efforts and their dreams will take them. That's what middle-class economics is. The idea that this country does best when everyone gets their fair shot. Everyone does their fair share. Everyone plays by the same set of rules. We don't just want everyone to share in America's success, we want everyone to contribute to our success. So what does middle-class economics require in our time? First, middle-class economics means helping working families feel more secure in a world of constant change. It means helping folks afford childcare, college, health care, a home, retirement. And my budget will address each of these issues, lowering the taxes of working families and putting thousands of dollars back into their pockets each year. Here's one example. During World War II, when men like my grandfather went off to war, having women like my grandmother in the workforce was a national security priority. So this country provided universal child care. In today's economy, when having both parents in the workforce is an economic necessity for many families, we need affordable, high-quality child care more than ever. It's not a nice to have. It's a must have. So it's time we stop treating child care as a side issue or as a women's issue and treat it like the national economic priority that it is for all of us. And that's why my plan will make quality child care more available and more affordable for every middle class and low-income family with young children in America, by creating more slots and a new tax cut of up to $3,000 per child per year. Here's another example. Today, we are the only advanced country on earth that doesn't guarantee paid sick leave or paid maternity leave to our workers. 43 million workers have no paid sick leave. 43 million. Think about that. And that forces too many parents to make the gut-wrenching choice between a paycheck and a sick kid at home.
Now, that's not entirely true there. All right, now, Obama exaggerated when he said that the U.S. is the only advanced country on earth that doesn't guarantee paid sick leave. All right. Canada and Japan also don't mandate paid short-term sick leave, which is what Obama is seeking for the U.S. But most employers, most businesses already offer paid sick leave. All right. So that's not entirely true. All right, so
I'll be taking new action to help states adopt paid leave laws of their own. And since paid sick leave won where it was on the ballot last November, veteran. Finally, as we better train our workers, we need the new economy to keep churning out high-wage jobs for our workers to fill. Since 2010, America has put more people back to work than Europe, Japan, and all advanced economies combined. Our manufacturers have added almost 800,000 new jobs. Some of our bedrock sectors, like our auto industry, are booming. But there are also millions of Americans who work in jobs that didn't even exist 10 or 20 years ago. Jobs at companies like Google and eBay and Tesla.
I don't have time to go through all of that now, but I wanted to get into his tax plan.
Tree presents. That's exactly what we're doing right now.
Okay, now his tax plan for free community colleges, for free tuition, all right, and my friends, it's not good. What he's doing is he's raising taxes on the rich. Okay, it's not free community college, all right. It's not free community college. He's proposing raising taxes on the rich to raise $60 billion for free 2-year community colleges. All right. Now this is not going to pass the Republican-controlled Congress. All right. He knows that. All right. And the rich already pay like close to 30% already, and he wants to raise it more. All right. That's not good economics. That hurts the economy. Okay. It's redistribution of wealth, and it's not good policy. It hurts the economy. It kills jobs, and it's just reckless. All right. Obviously, the president did not get the message. All right. The president did not get the message from. He has not learned from the. He hasn't learned from the midterm elections. All right. In fact, okay, you remember back when Bill Clinton was president. Okay. Now, you remember back when Bill Clinton was president. Okay. When back in his 6th year, okay. Now, and I want to show you this, okay. Now, you remember, obviously the president has not learned from the midterm elections, okay, and he has not learned from the from Clinton, obviously either, all right, because you remember back when Bill Clinton said this in '96. All right, take a look. All right, yep. Let's take a look. Let's take a listen to. Oh wait, hold up a second. Okay, yeah. So let's take a listen to Bill Clinton back in 1996.
The era of big government is over. We must go forward as one America, one nation, working together to meet the challenges we face together.
You remember when under Bill Clinton, when the Republicans took control of Congress, we had back then that we had welfare reform, we had we had a balanced budget amendment, we had tax reform. Bill Clinton actually worked with the Republicans to get stuff done, and on that, Obama is no Bill Clinton. All right, so Obama is just defiant in everything that he does. All right, in just everything. Now I'm not going to get to what a lot of other things that I wanted to bring up today, like the American Sniper and everything. But I just want to show. Okay, now I don't have time for. Okay, wait a minute. Now I don't have time for I don't have time for the other subtitles here, but I want to get into the GOP response. Okay, the GOP response. All right, to this. All right. Now, I want to show you this. Okay, Joni Ernst, the freshman senator from Iowa, carried the Republican response, the GOP response. Okay, take a look. Okay.
Did an ordinary Iowan like me has had some truly extraordinary opportunities because they showed me that you don't need to come from wealth or privilege to make a difference. You just need the freedom to dream big and a whole lot of hard work. The new Republican Congress you elected is working to make Washington understand that too. And with a little cooperation from the President, we can get Washington working again. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you tonight. May God bless this great country of ours, the brave Americans serving in uniform on our behalf, and you, the hardworking men and women who make the United States of America the greatest nation the world has ever known.
Wait a minute. I wanted to get into more of that speech because she did an excellent job. All right, now, okay. So she in her speech she she talked about simplifying the tax code and her family life and everything else. All right, but I want to get into some more of that speech because that was an excellent speech. And in fact, okay, now, in fact, she wore camouflage pumps, okay. Joni Ernst, and I see someone in there that can. Okay, here we go. All right, now I'm gonna show more of this, and then we'll get into the last words of the
We
night.
may not always agree. It's important to hear different points of view in this great country. We appreciate the president sharing his. Tonight, though, rather than respond to a speech, I'd like to talk about your priorities. I'd like to have a conversation about the new Republican Congress you just elected and how we plan to make Washington focus on your concerns again. We heard the message you sent in November, loud and clear, and now we're getting to work to change the direction Washington has been taking our country. The new Republican Congress also understands how difficult these past 6 years have been. For many of us, the sting of the economy and the frustration with Washington's dysfunction weren't things we had to read about. We felt them every day. We felt them in Red Oak, the little town in southwestern Iowa where I grew up and am still proud to call home today. As a young girl, I plowed the fields of our family farm. I worked construction with my dad. To save for college, I worked the morning biscuit line at Hardee's. We were raised to live simply, not to waste. It was a lesson my mother taught me every rainy morning. You see, growing up, I had only one good pair of shoes. So on rainy school days, my mom would slip plastic bread bags over them to keep them dry. But I was never embarrassed because the school bus would be filled with rows and rows of young Iowans with bread bags slipped over their feet. Our parents may not have had much, but they worked hard for what they did have. These days, though, many families feel like they're working harder and harder with less and less to show for it, not just in Red Oak, but across the country. We see our neighbors agonize over stagnant wages and lost jobs. We see the hurt caused by canceled health care plans and higher monthly insurance bills. We see too many moms and dads put their own dreams on hold while growing more fearful about the kind of future they'll be able to leave to their children. Americans have been hurting.
No time for the last words for the night. All right, but anyhow, that was Joni Ernst. She carried out she did an excellent job. She gets 5 stars up and 2 thumbs up for her speech, and I want to show more of that next week. All right, but anyhow, I didn't have time for the calls, and that is all the time we have left for the show tonight. We thank you for watching Political Point. You can follow me on Twitter at WilliamMetro2 and catch us on YouTube. Alrighty. Alright, once again, we thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history.